Why is it necessary to become the person, or to seek to do the inner work so that you can become the new version of yourself with the capacity to live up to your highest potential? So many of God's children, we live far beneath what our gifts, our skill set, and our talent deserves. We were created to be leaders on this earth. When He gave us the keys to the kingdom, that means He has entrusted to us a portion of God's kingdom on this earth that we are meant to govern. We are meant to steward. In my last video, I talked about the concept of the new economy. And the new economy is a spiritual economy. It's God doing business on the earth, the kingdom way, reestablishing, not that it ever left, but there's this awakening that's happening in His chosen ones. We're starting to realize what we've experienced so far on this earth is far beneath what God has ordained for us to experience. Whether it's in our family, our relationships with self and others, whether it's how we earn money. Some of us are in jobs that make us feel like we're enslaved, right? Some people are calling it corporate slavery. And it doesn't mean, and I said this in the last video, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with having a 9-to-5. But what it means is it is a problem if God has created you for a specific mission or a purpose. You may be someone that hasn't discovered your purpose yet, right? So what'll happen is when God is calling us up and out, like He did with Abraham, He said, come out from among them and I will take you to a place that you do not know. God had this beautiful plan for Abraham to make him the father of many nations. And at that point in time, when God gave him the call, he didn't know what that meant. But he trusted God to order his steps and to cause him to end up right where he is supposed to be. And right now, specifically during this season, it's September 10th, 2025. There's a lot going on globally right now, a lot of uncertainty and volatility. But what God is saying, come out from this world system and do things my way, and I will show you great and mighty things that you do not know. How do we get there? How do we become this version of ourselves where God can say, here, I'm entrusting this to you. And He unfolds and reveals what we were put on this earth to do. We first have to do the inner work. We have to do that personal development work. And God in the Bible, He says that he refers to it in the way of being renewed in the spirit of your mind, right? So that's not our conscious mind. He's talking about your subconscious programming. It's the programming that was put into your mind, the way you think, the way you remember, the way you behave, all of those things that are habitual to you run out of a program that you're not even aware of. But this program was written throughout our lifespan. Some of us were born into quote unquote healthy families. Some of us were born into toxic families. Some of us have experienced trauma upon trauma upon trauma. Some of us experienced a lot of loss, grief. Some of us have even experienced some successes in life. But all of those things do not serve to teach us who we were created to be. And so where I'm going moving forward, it's all about deciding to live with purpose. What is it that you need to do to become the person that God created you to be? Just imagine if you made a decision to live a life without limitations. If you said, my priority right now is getting right with the creator of the universe, allowing Him to change you from the inside out, trusting Him with your wounds, those things that made you not even trust in yourself. Some of you have lost a belief that you have any inherent value. Some of you believe that your value is outside of you. But everything good and perfect is woven in our DNA. If you haven't discovered your purpose yet, that's okay. The fact that you're listening to me right now, the call is going out to you. And the clue to our purpose, what we were put on this earth to do, is literally woven in our DNA. What is it that you're good at? What are your skills? What are your talents? What are your passions? What is that thing when you were a little kid and someone said, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? When we were children, there were no limitations on that. Somebody may have said an astronaut, or I want to be a teacher, or I want to be own a business. I want to push a hot dog cart. I don't know. But for you, you may be the best hot dog maker in the world. And you, because of that and because of that passion, you will draw people to your hot dog cart. And you will be able to speak life into that individual because you are operating out of your gift, out of your passion, and out of your purpose. So sometimes, we might need to rethink where we are. And I heard someone say the other day, if you knew you only had 6 months to live, what would you be doing? How would you live your life? Where would you live? Where would you go? How would you earn a living? Who would you have in your inner circle? Does it match the life you're experiencing right now or the life you're living right now? If not, heed the call. Pray and ask God to give you guidance. Go within. If it's support you need, if it's mental health support you need, seek it out. If it's emotional support you need, seek it out. Because a lot of what we experience in life that causes us to feel like maybe God is not there or somehow he's looked over you, it's just because there are some things that you need to come to acceptance about. And it's not that we excuse what's happened to us, but when we can accept what is, and I don't mean being complacent, I mean just radical acceptance of where you are today. When you're hearing this message, where are you today? Accept where you are. Because if you can accept where you are, all of a sudden, you've just shifted your mind into this space of abundance, opportunity, possibility, wonder, imagination. When I can get to the place where I say, I accept who I am, that opens the door for me to have the courage to say, yes, this is who I became, but man, who was I created to be? And that gives God the opportunity to say, now I can do something with you. I've been waiting to hear you say that. And you will be introduced to him in a way you never thought possible. Everything you've ever wanted is in him. Everything you've ever wanted is in this new economy. Because we're not talking about getting rich. We're talking about building wealth and leaving a legacy. So my hope and my prayer is that you will take what we've talked about today and what I'm going to be talking about in videos to come. I want to inspire you. I want to inspire you to decide to live with purpose. Decide to live with purpose today. And your life will never be the same. Because my prayer is that with all of the negativity that we experience in this life, we have two ways of looking at it. Our difficulties in life, our challenges, can either be a stepping stone or a stumbling block. It's all about perspective. If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for listening today. Love and blessings. Bye-bye.